What is going on with Detroit Lions tight end Sam LaPorta? Has a huge rookie year, and now he's kind of nowhere to be found. Well, I know exactly what's happening, and I'm going to explain it here right now. Hi, Mike Payton from A to Z Sports Detroit, and I'm here to talk to you about what's going on with Sam LaPorta in his second season. Let's get into it. So, obviously, last year, Sam LaPorta had one of the biggest rookie seasons that any tight end in NFL history has ever had. I mean, he was doing things that it just doesn't happen. It's so uncommon that like only a handful of guys have really been able to do the type of things that Sam LaPorta was able to do. So the average rookie tight end is usually getting about 350 yards, maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns. That's not what Sam LaPorta did. Sam LaPorta went out and got 889 yards and 10 touchdowns on 86 receptions. Like, that's not a normal season for a rookie tight end. So the thought process, obviously, would be, any of us would think this, is that he would just go on to the next season and he would be better than that or at least the same. But history tells us that that's just not the case. Basically, every tight end that has done what Sam LaPorta did last year went on to have a worse season the next year. Just, it's just, I mean, you can't fight history sometimes. I mean, like, take a look at this. Mike Ditka, for example, maybe had one of the greatest tight end rookie seasons of all time. He had 56 receptions, 1,076 yards, and 12 touchdowns. His second season, he had 58 receptions, 904 yards, and 5 touchdowns. The next one, Kyle Pitts, had a huge rookie year, 68 receptions, 1,026 yards, and a touchdown. The year after, he had 28 receptions, 356 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts is still looking to rebound back to what he was in his rookie year. I don't know if he ever will. Jeremy Shockey, Dan Campbell's old teammate, 74 receptions, 894 yards, 2 touchdowns his rookie year. Second season, he goes down to 48 receptions, 535 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Keith Jackson, 81 receptions, 869 yards, 6 touchdowns his rookie year. Second year, 63 receptions, 648 yards, 3 touchdowns. It just, like, this is what happens. Tight ends are just going to do this. There's more players. There's Charles Young, John Mackey, Evan Ingram, Cam Cleland, Dalton Kincaid. All these guys had big rookie years and then have just kind of stepped back in their next year. It doesn't mean that, they all necessarily got significantly worse. And obviously, I don't think Sam LaPorta has gotten significantly worse. I think he's obviously not getting the target share that he was getting last year because he's a little bit more figured out. But he's still, a great player. I think so far, 14 catches for 224 yards and a touchdown. That's not horrible. He's probably not gonna hit the totals that he got last year. And if he does, it's gonna take like a huge second half of the season, like where he just kind of explodes out of nowhere. But in other words, like, I think that he's gonna probably get more in the 600, 700 range in terms of yards, and instead of 10 touchdowns, maybe he'll have 5 this year. And that's not bad. That's still a really good tight end season. You can't hit 800 or 1,000 every year from that position. You just can't do it, especially when you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick, Jahmyr Gibbs, Khalif Raymond, David Montgomery, everybody that's on this team that's going to be taking up targets in one way or another. Like, there's just so many places for Jared Goff to go. So at this point, I would not worry too much about LaPorta. A lot of these guys that I talked about having the sophomore slumps, they were able to bounce right back in year 3. Mike Ditka obviously is one of the greatest players of all time. He had a little bit of a slump his second year, picked it right back up his third year, had a Hall of Fame career. I think LaPorta is probably heading towards that. I would not rule out that maybe somehow he becomes huge this year, but I think that right now he's just going to be another one of the guys. He's going to go out there and maybe not have an all-pro season like he did last year, but have a pretty good season, pretty good year, tiny little step back. But next year he'll be right back where he was. And that's that. And we'll talk more about things as they move on, and we'll see you guys next time.